excuse me. Welcome back to, pick up our last time. Now, I mentioned part one, we discussed basically a Daredevil Epic Collection. Which one is it? How about Volume 13, A Touch of Typhoid? Yep. All of these issues are here written by Ann Nocenti, and the artwork is done by a guy who just returned to doing Amazing Spider-Man, John Romita Jr. Yep, reviewing some John Romita Jr. stuff. This book collects issues 253 to 270 of Daredevil, along with Punisher Volume 2, Number 10. Fun fact about 254, it's the debut appearance of Typhoid Mary. Yep, it's her debut appearance. Now, the first issue, which has this great Christmas cover, yeah, Merry Christmas, Daredevil, a Christmas issue in April. Yes, seriously. So, yeah, 253, just a Christmas shoes. Not really much no one to hear, just good Christmas fun. The Kingpin working out, stuff like that. This, of course, is a few months after the critically acclaimed Born Again storyline, which Daredevil's identity was basically fed up with the Kingpin and said to basically lose his law license. Now here it is, 254, which, by the way, who is that mysterious one? We're about to find out. Here she is, Typhoid Mary. Yeah, makes her very first appearance on the very first page. Ann Nocenti has created a lot of characters for Marvel, and a lot of people tend to forget that she created them. Typhoid Mary is one of them. Yeah, people know who Typhoid Mary is. Still around this very day. And occasional love interest not only Daredevil, the Kingpin, who she later married, by the way, and Deadpool. Yes, freaking Deadpool got involved with her too. And people forget she's an Ann Nocenti character. Because it's like Ann Nocenti does all this work and people forget that she basically created this character. Whatever major character she created for Marvel Comics, they're still on this very day. Longshot, Mojo, Spiral. Yes, seriously, these are all her characters. She also created, if I remember correctly, the son of Black Bolt and Medusa, Athura. She also created Blackheart. Yes. The demon son of Mephisto. Oh, yes. Mephisto. It's Mephisto's son. Yep. Oh, yeah. But those are some more noteworthy ones that she's created. Yes. When people think of her, those are the ones people think of the most. Yes, those are the ones, like, the character I just named. Those are the ones people think of. Like, people know who these characters are. Don't worry, people know who these characters are. It's just that, well, how should I put this? People forget the connect dot. Oh, and the center created these characters. And you're thinking, really? Yep, really. Excuse me. Yep. Now, Typhoid Mary makes debut like this. Just attacks a mugger, scratches his face, kisses him. Oh yeah, I should point out though, Typhoid Mary, aka Mary Walker, is kind of crazy. Basically, this is her typhoid personality. It was retconned in the 2000s that in the Avengers Initiative series that she actually had third personality. It was during the book, which was part of the Shadow Initiative, that Kingpin found out about this years later, when she got involved with Shadowland. Yep, and what does she do a lot of these issues? Well, she a lot of time interacts with Daredevil himself or the Kingpin. Kingpin tends to smack her around, and she apparently has got no problem with him doing that. Because she's freaking nuts. Oh, and also she has slept with both Daredevil and the Kingpin of Crime. Yep, and the thing is, despite the fact both guys have slept with her, to my knowledge, neither of them got her pregnant. Nope, never did. Matt Murdock is, as far as I can tell, confirmed to this day, unless of course it's retconned by their writer, he has no kids. Yeah, Matt Murdock has got no kids. Kingpin has got confirmed 2 kids. He's got 2 sons from 2 of the women. One, of course, Richard Fisk is son from his wife, Vanessa. And there is the one who's the current kingpin of crime right now in the after the aftermath of Devil's reign. His name is Butch. Yes, it was found out during the actual prior to that he was actually Kingpin's son. Yep. So basically, you have Matt Murdock on this love story thing where he basically is getting involved with, of all people, Typhoid Mary. Yep. Yeah. And the thing is, you probably think, okay, so there's also this blonde woman shows up here. Is that Karen? Yep, Karen. Yeah, Karen had been back as a regular character book since issue 227. So, yeah, and if you're curious, excuse me, this is how John Romita Jr. draws her. Yeah, for some reason, he makes her look a little older than she's supposed to be. And yeah, she and Matt Murdock are back being a couple again. So this is simply just Typhoid seducing both Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, and Wilson Fisk put on trial in these issues. That's mostly put what these issues' story is. It's basically with Typhoid Mary. To me. And there's also a tie into a crossover happening in these issues. Yes, seriously. Oh, by the way, there's a guy who basically is with the Kingpin, and he touches basically Typhoid on her stomach, and she doesn't break his hand. Nope. Doesn't do anything to him at all. Yep. It's me. We also have this really weird scene here of basically Wilson Fisk, well, face to face with Matt Murdock, because these two know, because basically, prior to that, here's the thing, the reason why that Matt Murdock is recognized by Kingpin is because he knows that he's Daredevil. Yeah, he found there and Born Again, and then of course, then we get involved with the Punisher crossover, which by the way, this is done by Mike Barron, who was, I believe, the writer of this book at this point in time. Yep, and there's the cover. I love these covers for Punisher. I will eventually be more Punisher in the future. Don't worry about that. I might get a chance to do that, but at some point in the future. Yep. And this is from his very first ever ongoing series. Yes, his initial mini-series was a big hit at Marvel, which was originally published in 4 issues, but they made it 5 because of a typo. So they made 5 issues that proved to be a success. And here's a strange fact about that one. They actually followed up with that because the writer of that book wrote the final issues of Punisher War Eternal. Yep. It's mostly like a typical Punisher issue, which is involves Daredevil. They probably include because this is a crossover. Yep. It just because the Kingpin gets involved with it. Yeah, the Kingpin tends to get involved with a lot of particular superheroes. Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Punisher, very rarely Captain America. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then we Typhoid get kissed by the Kingpin. She's like, I'll break him. Matt's already smitten with Mary. He's ready to dump his stupid girlfriend for her. And he's lost and blind in the fog of love. He'll find out in love with the devil. Then rip her. Come here, little witch. Drop your weapons. Sure, baby. You don't know yet, fat man, but your dreams of palm hand make a fist. And she drops weapons. And if you're curious, though, what is implied to happen right after this? Like, with this little makeout scene, based upon the fact she dropped weapons. Well, it's presumed that she probably had sex with him probably after this. Yes, seriously. Yeah, that's presumed. I think what happens anyways. Yeah, then 258 fights a guy called the Bangle. Yeah. It's almost like a nothing issue. Which begs the question, why would you include this issue? Probably because it was done by Ann Nocenti and the Marvel wants to include everything in here. So why not? Yeah, include a character who I didn't know existed. I read this issue long ago. And then right back to Typhoid Mary stuff, which I like Typhoid Mary stuff. I think it's really good. And there's Smooch from the Kingpin. And by the way, and this thing right here she's using, that's an actual workout thing. If you're curious to have I ever used that? The answer is no, but I've seen it at the local YMCA. Mm-hmm. And of course, you have Daredevil swinging with his beautiful girlfriend Karen Page. Yep, swinging a city. Of course, she's smoking. With a bullet. Yeah, lots of smoke in this one. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, then we have the giant size 260, which it says the tag on this one is the final triumph of Typhoid Mary. Yep. Which I believe this is where they kind of almost ended. Then we have a guy in a mask appear in this issue. You're probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? Who appears in this issue? About to answer that. This guy is a guy about it. No, it's not this guy here. Nope, not this guy. Yeah, I'm trying to find who this guy is. Well, we do have Bushwhack appearing here. Yes, he appeared just prior to this. No, I don't think it's him. It's somebody here. They say this. Okay, so apparently this is Bullet. Yeah, this is Bullet. Just with a ski mask. Oh, in case you're curious though, he's still very much alive. Except he doesn't look like this anymore. Nope, he doesn't. Yeah, he actually is dead now. He actually got killed off during the Extreme Carnage crossover. Yes, a Daredevil villain got killed off in this crossover. Yep. He got killed off in the one-shot Lasher. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when they pretty much in a way killed him off. Excuse me. Now, Bushwhacker and stuff actually debuted prior to this one, probably in the previous trade I'll discuss in the future. He made his debut back in issue 248. Yeah, I think he's a cyborg with a gun for an arm. So, right after that, I mean, is Typhoid Mary taking down this issue? Well, not really. She did kind of a little bit later. It's basically Daredevil versus a bunch of foes. Really good foes. So you have the Wild Boys. Yes, the Wild Boys. Yeah, apparently Daredevil apparently killed. And then the Human Torch shows up right next issue. Yes, seriously, the Human Torch shows up in Daredevil. Oh, by the way, this issue is done by Jeremy Jr., but man, it's like he has changed his style for this issue for some reason. And of course, he's here looking for Daredevil. Now, here's the weird thing. Human Torch is barely any contact with Daredevil. I mean, the thing is, he very rarely interacts with him. So, why would he be interested? Don't know. You have Typhoid Mary getting smacked around, getting picked up by the Kingpin. She, of course, no problem with that. Oh, by the way, because she's insane. Anyway, thinking, how can she stand being in bed with this guy? He could easily crush her. Because she's super strong. Yeah, and apparently he decided to smack her. She probably has no problem with it at all. And it's like, I will burn with you. What's wrong with that? You ready to behave? And takes off his suit coat, and then they have sex. No, seriously, that's basically what happens. They don't show it per se, but yeah, it's implied apparently these two had sex. Yeah. And then finally, 262, we have a tie-in to Inferno. Yes, Inferno, an X-Men crossover, which was, I believe, was the second time that Daredevil has tied into an X-Men crossover. Actually, I think it was like the third, because they did for Fallen Mutants, Mutant Massacre, and this one. Yeah, Inferno was simply an X-Men crossover that someone involved him. Believe it or not, it actually takes a break for an issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then of course we have Black Widow show up here. Yes, Black Widow in her all gray attire. And man, this is how John Romita Jr. draws her. Like, what the heck? Seriously. Yeah, it's most thing on Typhoid Mary. And yeah, it's basically Daredevil versus demons in these 3 issues. Yep, that is simply the gist of the Inferno tie-ins. It's Daredevil versus demons, and somehow the Kingpin is like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, he's so confused about this. Typhoid Mary is loving this. Yeah. After that quick 2-parter. And then we have 264. Yep. Where we have a different artist. We have Anderson working with. And this is a shocker because I kind of forgot he ever worked on Daredevil. The late Steve Ditko. Yes, Steve Ditko. What the heck? Steve Ditko. Yes, that's Steve Ditko draw. That's how he draws the owl. Who would have thought they had the frickin' owl show up and that she's looking for a frickin' baby? I'm like, what the heck is this? Yeah, it's by far one of the most baffling things. Yeah, you have the owl, a crime boss looking for a baby. And that's just 264. It's a big comedy issue because it's funny. And the kid's kind of adorable. Yep. And then we finally get back to the Inferno. It's almost like 264 was just a filler. And then right back to Daredevil fighting frickin' demons. Maybe the issue wasn't ready yet. That's probably the reason why it was delayed. And 264 were like, okay, let's have St. Nico do an issue. A fill-in issue. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. But it just seems so weird and so jarring. Like, you go from this demon stuff to this really good art, with this really awesome art from the late Steve Ditko. And then you have the tag on this one is "The Devil You Say," which I think is more. I think it's just an aftermath of Inferno. Daredevil's bandaged up. He's got like his face bandaged up from the crossover, and he's hanging out here with Typhoid Mary. And then of course they tell you to smoot. They tell you to hang out in the bar, and then for some reason then we have guys killing each other in the bar while Daredevil and Typhoid Mary make out. Yep. They kill each other. And you're like, what the heck just happened here? And he smacks her, and then all of a sudden, freaking Mephisto shows up. Yes, Mephisto. And you're thinking, what? Mephisto in a Daredevil comic? Yeah, it's one of the most strangest things. Mephisto. And you're thinking, wait, that's not Mephisto. Yeah, it is. It's Mephisto drawn by John Romita Jr. Which seems so baffling, the fact this is what he thinks Mephisto should look like with this weird face. Like, what the heck is this? Yeah, this is Clint Mephisto, but it's drawn by John Romita Jr. And you have Daredevil fighting Bullet again in issue 267. Yep. And then we have this woman named Sister Maggie. You've been thinking, who's Sister Maggie? That's Matt Murdock's mom. Yeah, the reason why she's a nun because They actually don't realize that many years later because she has some mental issues and apparently being a nun sorts it out. Yeah, this was revealed the original Sentai for Mark Waid's run for Daredevil. Of why she's here. And then we come to, oh boy, an issue I did a review for years ago, and yeah, this issue was not very good. Yeah, I like the artwork for this issue, but man, this issue was just not very good. Because I don't really know what's going on. You have random violence, you have Matt Murdock in the countryside for some reason. Yeah, I mean, if you read the previous issue, like, okay, so apparently just Matt Murdock leaving town for reasons, and he ends up here. He's here for, excuse me, he's here for good over 20 issues until prior to League 300 where he goes back to New York. You have him listen to various things, and he thinks, oh, here are these weird phrases. Like, I mean, the artwork is actually a lot better. Yeah, it's Johnny Jr., but man, this artwork is actually just like, really good. Like, you have him hanging random people. Like, the hanging felt so random at best. It's almost like basically this issue just didn't need to happen, per se. Yeah, having Daredevil randomly hang a guy. Yeah, I consider this to be the worst issue of the whole series. And I kind of still feel that way. Yeah, 268, really bad issue. 269, Daredevil versus Blob and Pyro of Freedom Force. Yeah, this is when I saw Pyro Freedom Force. And here was Spiral, which, that's interesting. I should point out, though, Blob, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Spyro is Ann Nocenti. Who created Pyro, you might ask? Was Ann Nocenti? Pyro was a creation of Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Yep. His real name is Saint John Alderdoos. No, seriously, that's his real name. And he's Australian. Ah, crikey, mate. Yep. And he's a member of the American vigilante team known as the Freedom Force. Yes. It's a very interesting issue. I like this one. I like this a lot better than 268. I feel like this was a massive step up from 268. Yeah, Daredevil fighting the Blob is quite hilarious. He's like punching him up. Ha ha, you can't move me. And Squid's like, oh, where'd he go? Toss around. Pop, pop. And apparently one would stop him. It's a drop a freaking church bell on him. Like, ha, immovable. Yeah, but it's still freaking painful. Yes. And then 270, which is the last issue in this book, you have him take on Blackheart, which I believe this was his first appearance, Blackheart. Yeah, this is Blackheart's very first appearance. Yeah, a character who is associated with Ghost Rider makes his debut in the pages of Daredevil of all things. Yeah. And you might be asking, is he still around? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, a character who started as a Daredevil villain for a small handful of issues, which I reviewed with this book here. I pretty much reviewed all the issues he did for Daredevil at this point. Yeah. Like, as he finished up his time working in Daredevil, he moved over to a Warheads, fought Wonder Man for a few issues. Matter of fact, he pretty much almost ended the series. He had the Ghost Rider / Wolverine / Punisher Dark Design, and became basically a Ghost Rider villain for basically the last couple years of the book. And then he fought X-Force. Yeah, it's like you have a character, like I said, starts out as a Daredevil villain, and then he gets moved over to be a Ghost Rider villain. And his most recent appearance was in King of Black Ghost Rider #1. Yep, this was by far his most recent appearance today. And you're thinking, really? Yep, really. That was like about 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. My nose is really itchy here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, you want to look at basically what Blackheart looks like his debut. There he is, Blackheart. Which yeah, that's his design normally how it is. Blackheart's here just to fight Daredevil, which seems so odd. Yes, but this is where he first showed up, and Spider-Man comes in here because, well, he needs help fighting a freaking demon. Yep, and that's the book ends. And since I've already discussed basically his other issues in the follow-up trade, I had pretty much got done all the stuff related to Blackheart in the pages of Daredevil, which, yeah, he only appeared for a small handful of like 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 issues. Yeah. This is so interesting. And the fact that he briefly fought Spider-Man. Well, the Miles Morales one. Only for like a few issues of his book. And that's it. I'm going to give this book a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a good book, definitely. But I would give it 9.5 because I like the issues, but 268. I still think this issue is bad. Oh yeah. I still think it is because it just not the interesting of an issue, but this get a lot better afterwards. Yep. So yeah, that's the particular review. I would do one more review, but basically I want to. I have to prepare for a stream. I might get time to do it tonight. I'm not. Do it tomorrow. Okay. Next video. Bye.